Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So I'm out here in the shop. I got something really cool here today, and this is something that I've never actually reviewed before. I've actually never used one before. But this is a diesel heater from Hcalory. Now they sent me this to review. I'm not getting paid by them or anything. Just take it out of the box, review it. I want to actually use it here in this little motorcycle shop of mine to heat it, because even though I'm in Arizona, it still gets down pretty cool. It gets down to 40s, so it makes it uncomfortable to work. Hopefully this will bring the temperature up enough that it'll make it where it's comfortable to be out here working in the shop. So if you wonder what Hcalory is, I kind of wondered the same thing. The H basically stands for heater, and calorie is a unit of heat. So this is called a toolbox heater. I don't know if that's because of the shape of it. It's made like a toolbox or what, but this should be pretty handy. We're going to take it out of the box, check out some of the features, put some diesel in it, get it all set up, and try this thing out. So it does say this is 3-minute fast heating. So it should turn it on, 3 minutes you should be having fast heat. It says the fuel efficiency is improved by 36%. It's made of aluminum body. Also, it does say that the max temp is 135 degrees Celsius. It says that it's 50-hour long runtime. So that's pretty cool if it actually run that long. So it does say that it has a 6-liter extra large fuel tank, which is increased over the last one, which is 5-liter. So you're talking 20% larger. And as far as that 50 hours, what it says is 50 hours continuous runtime on a single tank, 5 days of use on a single fill, 8 hours night. It's got an all new silent oil pump, because it has a pump that pumps that oil, which is the diesel, up into it, and a lot of them make a lot of noise. This one is supposed to be silent, so we're going to test that out. It also does have the Hcalory app that we're going to put on our phone. We're going to try that out with it too. So it has auto start stop. We can set a timer with 10 adjustable heat levels. So let's take this thing out of the box and check it out. We have some parts in here, looks like. Here it is. It's definitely protected. This is really cool. This is like one of those heavy toolbox cases. I can see why they call it a toolbox. A super rugged handle on that thing too. And there is the user manual, comes with it. So here it is. Fuel cap right here for the diesel. Put the diesel in right there. Over the side of it, you can see that tank right here. This is a remote to run it, clipped inside here. So not only run by the app, you can also run it with a remote control. So this thing actually be handy in RVs. You could use it for RVs, heating cars, heating a garage. You could use this for a tent. You could use it on a house. As long as you run the exhaust outside, you can pretty much use it on anything. So it looks like it's all set up and ready to go here. Close this back. And as I said, I've never had one of these before, so I'm kind of a newbie to this diesel heater. Here's our exhaust down here. This is obviously where our heat comes out right here. And then of course we have this box here with all of our stuff to connect it. So here's our flex hose, which stretches out. There's our exhaust pipe right here. Some more flex, smaller flex. Obviously this is probably for an intake. So here's our power cable, which we can connect to 12 volt or 24 volt DC. It says 15 amp right there. So you can run this off a battery too, not just off of household current. And then our vent looks like a 4-inch. And here's our power supply. So this is what I was saying. You can run this off 110 volt in your house or in your shop, or you have the option, if you're out somewhere camping or whatever, you want to connect it to like a car battery, 12 volts. There you go. You can connect it that way. So it works either way. Pretty nice to have both of those. We'll be using this one for now. Then looks like we have some clamps. We have, looks like this little muffler that goes on the exhaust. So there we go. Let's get this thing put together. Okay, so I'm just going to start connecting some of these things on here. I'm going to first cut this zip tie, pop this out. So this is the controller, and what this is, if you need a longer cord, this is a controller extension cord. I'm just actually going to leave the unit on here, but if you wanted to wall mount this, then that's what that cable's for. So you just pop that loose and pop it back on here. Of course, our cord is going to plug in right here. This is our intake vent, which will go on right here. And then this is a strainer that goes in our fuel cap right there to keep any debris out. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mount this bracket on here. This holds the intake tube. I just want to mount it so it's not dangling and it'll hold it up straight. Put the bracket on there, use a couple of the screws provided. Put the bracket on. I'll run that tube down through here. Got the vent on the top, a clamp on it, and then put it on right down here. And then tighten that Phillips screw right here. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. Put it through like this, and it'll hold it more solid there. Thread this back on, and do it like that. Like that right there, that's a lot better. So now I want to turn it around and do the exhaust, which is right here. Several different ways you could do this exhaust. You could actually cut a piece of this off if you wanted to. You want to mount this up short, muffler, and not use this tube. Then you could use this for like a coupling to mount that up closer, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it on this tube for now. I'll tighten this on here. Then I'm going to mount the muffler on here. It doesn't show a direction, but there is a hole right here in case condensation gets in the muffler. You would want to mount it with that down, and that way any condensation could drain out that little hole right here. Right here, this is going to be our air outlet where our hot air is going to come out. So it will go on here with the clamp. And then this other clamp will go on here with this part right here. So basically what you could do if you wanted to set this outside, you could put this vent in your wall, run this tube connected to vent, and this would be the only part inside. You could have this whole unit outside. I would have it covered, but you could have it outside, and this would be blowing hot air inside. Okay, so there's pretty much the setup you're going to have. You have your intake, bringing in fresh air here. You're going to have your heat coming out this tube. You can, like I said, whether you mount this inside or outside. Then this is going to be your exhaust, which you definitely want to go outside. And this is just pretty simple to set up. Okay, I went ahead and brought this outside just so I don't make a mess. We'll go ahead and put some diesel in here. Come around this side, maybe I can see on the side here how much I'm putting in it. Spin the cap back on here. Okay, so I'm just going to fire it up outside for the first time. Plug this back into here. I got this display loose here so I can see it. Okay, power. It's on H4. We got power. Should be our air intake right there. This is our fresh air intake. So it's coming on. Okay, I got my phone here. I'm gonna do a test, see how long it takes for it to actually light up the first time and start actually putting out heat. We'll turn this on, start. Different heat levels. There's H7, H10 is the highest it goes, so we can turn it up and down. We'll put it on 8, see what it does there. We'll let this run a little bit, see how long it actually is before it puts out heat. So it is blowing air out this end right here. Of course, it's cold right now. I know that it's not heating yet because the exhaust is still cold. They will actually have to pump the diesel fuel into the combustion chamber to start igniting. It's been 1 minute. So I think it would take more time the first time because it has to circulate the fuel through the system. I can hear the fuel pump clicking. I believe that's what it is. It's clicking faster. We're at 2 minutes. There is air coming out of the exhaust. It's just not hot yet. I'm going to try a test of this the first time, and then after it's already been preheated and all the fuel run through, then we'll try another test later showing how long it takes to start up. Now the fuel pump or whatever that is quit ticking. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Should still be working. It's still running. Hear the fuel pump clicking again. We're at 4 minutes. So now I can kind of smell diesel burning a little bit, and it changes the sound. Now we're getting some warm on the exhaust, so we're starting to heat up now at 4 minutes and 48 seconds. As I said, this is just the first time. I wanted you guys to see the real thing, so if you get one, you hook it up, don't expect it in 3 minutes the first time. The first time you're going to have to bleed all the fuel through the system and get it fired up. The next time, I'm sure it will be a lot quicker. And now our exhaust is heating up. We're actually starting to get some heat. And if you'll notice here, absolutely no smoke at all. I can smell the diesel fuel burning, but I can't see any smoke whatsoever, which is nice. It means it's burning good and clean. That muffler is starting to get warm. Pipe is hotter. She's getting real hot now coming out of here. Now we're getting warm air out right here. So not bad. It actually took 4 minutes to get it actually up, lit, and heating the first time. And as I said, I believe after this, because we have fuel through the system, it's going to heat up a lot faster. So we are up, we're heating. No smell to that, just nice clean heat. And the exhaust is getting extremely hot, so I wouldn't want to grab that. You could burn yourself pretty easy. How awesome is this, guys? And I'm just using it simple right now. All I did was turn it on, nothing fancy, hooked everything up, and just hit the power button to turn it on. No timer settings, none of that, and I just turned the temperature up. Now we're getting really nice warm air out of here. So yeah, that's gonna heat real good. Okay, so I'm gonna shut this off, put it inside, and try it now. Go ahead and hit the power button, hold it. The display is kind of hard to read. It does say off on there, but it's really kind of hard to read out here in this light. But it says off, and now it's shutting down. I'm sure it's going to stay running slowly for a little bit to go into a cool down phase, which is going to cool down the combustion chamber to make it safe. That's what you would want to do. So there we go, we're cooling down, and it should be shutting totally down. We still have some heat blowing out here, and that's what it's doing. It's cooling down the combustion chamber, getting all that heat out there. You wouldn't want to shut it down, or don't unplug it. When it's hot, never unplug it, because then it's going to just stay hot. It can't cool down because the fan blowing through it. So you want to make sure you shut it off and let it run through its cool down mode in order for it to go off. So this is going to be real nice in the container, I think, to heat this. And as I said, I'm in Arizona, so it's not like I get a lot of cold, but it's cold enough you don't really want to work in your shop. This is going to make it real nice. So now the fan's speeding up again. Okay, now after a couple minutes, it's actually cooling down pretty good. This exhaust is not nearly as hot, cooling down. Our air's starting to get cool coming out here. But this is a cool looking unit. I like the heavy dutiness of it. I mean, it looks rugged. Notice it says Toolbox right here by Hcalory. So we'll take this thing inside and hook it up here in just a minute. Okay, so we're inside. It actually started raining outside, so I definitely had to hurry and get this thing in. But I went ahead, I got a vent down here in the floor for now, and I just stuck the exhaust out through this vent so it's not coming in here. I'm gonna put some aluminum foil around that for now, just so I can test this unit. I got the vent running in here, of course. We're gonna run this thing and see how long it takes to warm up in here. So it's kind of cool in here, it's not cold. We'll do a temperature test over here. You see here we're 63 degrees on this motorcycle. Try the floor temperature, 60 degrees. So 60 to 63 degrees in here probably is what you would say. Yeah, 60 degrees over here. On that motorcycle, 61. So that's going to be our temperature in here, 60 to 63 in that range. We're going to turn this thing on, let it run for a while, and we'll see what the temperature comes up to. So I'm going to set this up permanently later after I run it a few times and test it, but I think this is going to be a great unit. So we'll go ahead, I'll show you this controller here. Hopefully you can see this. It says 13 volt. That's how much volts it comes to it because we have this adapter right here hooked to it. So we turn it on, hold this button. It's on H9 right now. You can see it's blue to yellow. The hotter you get, goes on up to red. That's H10. We'll just set it on H9, and it's flashing, so it's showing air coming out here. The settings are in here, 61 degrees Fahrenheit. You can set the temperature in here what we want it. We'll stop it at 70. See how long it takes to get to 70 in here. It's actually cooling down outside because of the rain. So we got it set to 70 degrees. We want it to be in here. So let's just let this thing run until it gets to 70 in here. Pump's clicking, it's lit. So that actually didn't take but about 2 minutes. It's a lot faster, as I said, once you get it run through the first time. It only took a couple minutes, and it's up and burning as far as heat. That's why it probably said 3 minutes before you actually start getting heat out of here. Right, we're barely getting some heat, but we'll be up to full heating in about 1 more minute, and we'll be good to go. So I can't smell no diesel in here now with it exhausting outside like that. So let's just go ahead and let this thing run and see how long it takes to get to 70 in here. Time right now is 2:35 p.m. It's heating up fast. Really putting out some heat now. I can hear it, the fans kicking up, getting to higher speed. Oh yeah, we're starting to blow out nice warm air now. It'll warm up in here pretty fast, I think. Okay, so while I'm waiting for that to heat up, you can hear it in the background here. I downloaded the Hcalory app in here. It wants you to turn on Bluetooth, and it finds the Hcalory connected, it says. So there it is. Shows I got it set to 70. I can change it here without having to mess with that. Okay, so it shows it's heating. Ambient temperature is 70, it says right now. Just clicked over to 70 right here. It says it has 12 volts on it. custom, so we can set temperature, custom temperature, start and stop times on it, which is cool if you want to use all that stuff. I won't be using that. I just turn it on when I need heat, turn it off, set it to whatever temperature I want. I think it's going to work great like that. So it says it's up to 70 ambient temperature right now. So let's test it. I mean, it's only been, the time here says 2:42. So it's not even been 10 minutes yet. 2:45 would be 10 minutes. So let's test this on that box over there. 67, but that's a lot further away. But it is coming way up. 66, let's test it over here on the little motorcycle. 69, yeah, so that's correct. I mean, the ambient temperature probably is getting close to 70, obviously. Really cool. I can't, and it's like, what has it been? So that was 7 minutes? That's crazy. Warming up really fast. This is impressive. So it's putting out a ton of heat. This air coming out of this thing, when you put your hand up there, it is hot, hot. Let's test it here. Yeah, so it shows 194, 96, 200 degree. That thing is really cooking. It's putting out some heat. So this tube here, you wouldn't want to touch anything that could melt. Make sure your exhaust also is not touching anything. You want that only touching something metal, nothing wood or plastic or anything like that. And the same way with this one here, just because it does get up to over 200 degrees. Right there, you can see I'll get a little closer here. Get aimed on it. Yeah, so you're talking 190, 200, over 200 degrees. If I get it right on there, just right there, 198. Going up here, get a direct shot, 204. The unit itself is not that hot. You're only talking 68 degrees on the plastic body here. So yeah, this thing's warming up, and it's warming up really fast. Okay, so this is impressive. To less than 10 minutes, it heated it from 60, 61 in here to 70, 71. Test it again right here. Yeah, 70 degrees now on that motorcycle. 71. You see right there. 71 over there on that motorcycle. Of course, the air is aiming toward it, the hot air coming out right here. But if we go somewhere else, like right down here where it's not, 68 degrees there, 67. And now it's changed. It's slowed down on the air here. So I'm thinking what it's done is it's warmed it up in here. So now it's going to turn the heat down or shut it off because it's warmed up to the target temperature, which was 70 degrees. And now the ambient temperature in here right now shows, hopefully you can see that, but it says 71 degrees. And this thing's slowing way down. On this app also, you can change the auto start stop here, turn that on. So now we have it on auto start stop. Ambient temperature now says 72. It's really warming this building up, and I mean really fast. Slowing way down now. See what it says on this display. Yeah, it says 70 degrees. Shows it's been running for 14 minutes now, but that was the warm-up time too, so 14 minutes and it's already up to 72 degrees in here. 70 degrees, it's just showing my set temperature, not the temperature in here. The temperature in here is warmer, and it's actually getting warmer than I want it to be in here, especially with it raining and cold outside. So you can hear the noise from it. This thing is not loud at all. I've got my microphone right here on me, and I'm this close to it. You're probably hearing what I'm hearing is actually the air sucking in right here. So that's what you're hearing as far as sound. I don't hear any air blowing out there, which it is. Hot air coming out, but all the sound is from the air intake. So I was looking at the Hcalory app here, and it does say it has a high altitude mode, multiple timers, automatic start stop, 10 adjustable heat levels, and fan mode. So I guess you can just set this on fan mode if you don't want it to be heating. It says right here on the app now the device is shutting down. There, it's going off. And that's because it has warmed up to 70 degrees in here, past 70. So it's reached its temperature, and now it's going to shut down, and it should automatically come back on too when it cools back down. But it's telling you, do not power it off. So do not disconnect this power when it's shutting down. As I said, you want it to actually cool down to get the heat out of the unit. And it says this process lasts for a few minutes. It's really slowing down now because it's cooling down like it did when I had it outside. So you can see right here that it says that it is shutting down. So I actually wish I would have had one of these a long time ago. I was reluctant on getting one. Some companies wanted to send me one to review, and I thought, I don't need it. I really don't care to have one. And Hcalory got a hold of me, and I said, yeah, let's do this. They sent it to me, and I couldn't be happier. This is really gonna be nice. And I will do a later review as I use this thing and let you guys know what I think of it and how it's been working. Blowing a little more air through it, trying to cool it down inside there. You want to cool down that burn chamber in there before it shuts totally off. Okay, so now it has totally shut off. You can see it says standby. It's still in heating mode, and it's on auto start stop. And I went ahead and opened the door over here to let it cool down in here. Just to get really nice and toasty in here. It says the ambient temperature is 78 degrees in here right now, but that's because it took a little while to shut down. So you might want to set it lower than 70. I don't want it that warm inside here, but we're gonna wait here and see how it comes back on. And you can see that it's shut off here on the display panel. The time is correct. It is 1500 hours, which is 3 o'clock p.m. So this thing should kick back on here pretty soon when it cools down. We're just going to leave this alone, let it sit here for a little bit, and see when it kicks back on. So you can see on here it does have blow wind or heating. Blow wind means it's just going to put air out this and just blow whatever it's sucking in right here. It's just going to blow it out right here. Also, when you choose this, you can actually adjust that speed of the air coming out of there all the way up to 10. You can see our altitude right here, 1,270 meters. We're at 13 volts because it's not running. 100 degrees, the aluminum body temperature. So inside there, it's 100 degrees. That's the aluminum burn chamber unit in there. Okay, so we just kicked back on, 67 degrees. So it's starting to kick back on and run. So now I'm gonna take this thing and test it in the morning when it's cool out here, warm the shop up and see how that does. Okay, it's been 2 minutes and it's already putting out heat. The pipe's getting hot. We're starting to put out warm air here, so it's pretty fast. It don't take long at all. You're already starting to get heat. We're getting warm air out, not hot yet, but that pipe right there is hot. So we're good to go. Let's just see how cool it is in the morning. We'll try this out again in the morning. Okay, we are back. The time is 6:37 a.m. We're going to test this thing. You notice now that I have connected it to a 12-volt battery. So I connected the black and the red to this battery and use that adapter cord there. So I'm going to run it off 12 volt. Ready to run this thing. Let's check the temperature in here. It is cold, I know that. 39 degrees. So 38, 39. So definitely cool. Check it over here on the wall. Behind it, 37, 38 right there. So we're going to turn this on. We're going to use the remote this time to turn it on. And we're just going to see how long it's going to take to warm it up in here. Go ahead and hit the power button, hold it down. Okay, it's coming on. On this here we have just on and off for the power, and then we can plus and minus to increase or decrease the temperature. Another thing is, I did put the remote cable on there, the extension, so I can put the control unit right there. I got it on H10, so we got it on about as warm as it's going to get and ready to try this thing out. We'll come back. So that was 6:37 a.m. This battery tells us how many watts we're drawing. Right now, the current we're taking out of it is 93 watts. We're going to go back inside where it's warm. I'm going to come back out here in a little bit and keep a check on this thing, see how long it takes to heat up in here. Okay, so now it's running. The fan is sped up, but now it's only actually drawing 32 watts. And we're starting to put out heat, so I don't understand how this works as far as wattage, but initial power up takes 99 watts obviously, and then we're back to 31, 32 watt when it's running and heating. Okay, so it has been 1 hour, actually like an hour and 5 minutes probably, but we are warming up good. And let's see, the temperature in here is, check it here, 65 degrees there. Let's check on the floor, 53 on the floor. Check over here at that battery, 53. Check this part of the room over here, 60. Yeah, 60 over there behind me. So pretty much, except for the floor is cold. Even the wall is 64, so I'd say about 60 degrees. I've been running for an hour. So the temperature outside has warmed up to 45 degrees. We're drawing 29 watts on here. So that's actually pretty good. So I'm pretty impressed with this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. That should put it in the off mode. Changing sound, so it's shutting down. That's pretty handy too. Look up here. Yeah, we're shutting off, powering down. So this is actually pretty handy, guys. This is going to be nice out here in the shop. Now, I'd say if it gets real cold, because this is a container and it's not insulated. So an insulated building, this thing would have warmed it up way faster and way warmer in here in an hour. But because this is non-insulated in that metal, it's going to stay cold. It's pretty tough to heat something like this, really. So it does a decent job, I think, for what it is. If, like I said, if insulated building, this thing would be great. But there you guys go. The Hcalory Toolbox. I will post a link in the description where you can check this out. Thank you all for watching. Click that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when I put out a new video, and we'll catch you all in the next adventure. Right on.